vampires. But when I decided based on that lesson from these people that I'm going to decide my attitude, that is when my life turned around. I put my eyes on the prize. I followed somebody that was going to help me get who I wanted to be. So I became a thermometer, not a thermostat, not a thermometer. And that's one of the things that I offer anybody. What is it that you want to do? You set your own gauge. You decide where you're going to go. Somebody's doing something that's pushing your buttons. You can make a decision to get mad and react, or you can think and respond. Think about what's going to be the best outcome for you. That is the difference between being a thermometer and a thermostat. That's the difference between somebody reacting and responding. And attitude is that choice. And if you make the right choice, your life will be better. I didn't say easier. I'll say better. Sometimes easy, not sometimes, most of the time, ease is the enemy of the best you that can happen.
Yeah.
So we talked about philosophy, we talked about relationships, we talked about equipping, we talked about attitude. You can get all that right. You can get all that right, Steve. And if you don't get this next part right, all of that's for naught. And it's leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership. And the person that you must lead first is you. Because think about it. If you let your emotion, if you let the world, if you let the people around you drag you to where they're going, where do you think you're going to end up? Especially if it's not the right people. Even the right people can make you do the wrong things if you're not using your own mind. You know what I mean? You have to think. Napoleon Hill, and one of our favorite people, Napoleon Hill talks about own your own mind. Once you can own your own mind, you can lead yourself in the right direction. Because if you lead yourself, I would guess that many of the people that are listening to my voice right now, they are probably where they are now because they were led down the wrong path by somebody else, somebody or something.
Lefford, in our first interview that we did, I gave you a copy of Outwitting the Devil.
Outwitting the Devil.
And
Drifter.
The drifter. The definition of a drifter is a person who goes aimlessly through life with no sense of purpose. And so, in answer to your question, where would you be if you let all these people influence you? You better like playing ping pong, because that's what your life's going to end up being, is a ping pong game back and forth with going nowhere.
Exactly. But if you're getting to the point where you own your own mind, you figure out what you want. You have a burning desire for what you want. You decide, because you can kind of wish for what you want, but unless you make that decision, back it with emotion and desire, it's not going to get done. So lead yourself and lead yourself well.
Lefford, let me interrupt you just for a second. Right here, I'm holding up your DVD book. Let me get the light right. It's Chief State of Mind. And Lefford, I'm just putting this up there because you give chapters that are all the steps that you need to take to evolve into a person who takes control of your life. Chief State of Mind. I just want people to know that.
Yeah, that, and there's something that I know that you've been doing. You've been passing out and getting into people's hands, Think and Grow Rich. Now, Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, it's not the Bible, but it is a Bible to some where you can follow this particular thing because it gives you a roadmap of what to follow. Listen, success leaves clues. If you want to be successful, study success. If you want to be fit, study fit stuff. If you want a roadmap, follow the Bible. You know what I mean? So, but you lead yourself in the right direction. But get the playbook. Get the playbook. My book is good. My CD is good. But Napoleon Hill's book will lead you there. I study that book deeply, and I'm learning every day. So lead yourself well. And this is the deal. If you develop the great philosophy, if you work on your relationships because they matter, if you equip yourself, listen, learn, and lead, if you develop and garner a positive attitude and get rid of the negative attitude, and you lead yourself, you will be successful. And that's for real. But let me go here, because Steve asked me to talk about the process. You didn't get where you were in a day, and you won't get out of where you are in a day. But you can, again, change directions. I was in the military, and I was an Air Force cop for a lot of years. And we used to do land nav, where we get a compass and read a map. You could go into the forest, and this is what I know. You go 10 miles into the forest. When you turn around, the moment you turn around, you're coming out of the forest. But you're not out of that forest until you go 10 more miles. So just because you turn, just because you're not incarcerated anymore, doesn't mean you're all the way back out. You got to make a path and start walking. The beautiful thing is you can start walking that path now. You could go places in your mind. You can go places in books that'll work on your success patterns. So when you step out, you'll be better equipped. When I came out of the military after 31 years, even though I was nervous, even though I was scared, I had equipped myself through those years, going to school, reading the right books, making relationships, talking to people, getting involved with organizations that can help me, right thinking foundation. With a positive attitude, I hit the ground running when I left the military. That's why I think I've been successful. But for those people that are believers like I am, I always kept my hand in his hand. And even when he was dragging me, at least I was being moving forward. So keep your hand in the hand of the man, study, listen, learn, and leave, and you'll be successful. That's all I got for you, Steve.
Lefford, I think your next part of your career, can you sing?
No, I can't sing.
I bet you can. Well, Lefford, I just want to thank you, and I just want to thank you for the person that you are and for all that you've done. And again, I want to thank you for the lifetime of service in the Air Force, but the desire that you have in your heart to help other people. And I'm just so honored and thankful. It's been a privilege today to share you with all the men and women returning citizens that we wanted to deliver a message to try to encourage them. Can you give us anything at all in closing, just to sum up some words of encouragement, enthusiasm, just to end this right now?
Well, the encouraging thing to me, Steve, is that there are people out here that want everybody to succeed. If you listen to the media, if you watch the news, if you listen to the negativity that's going on, you would think that the world is just horrible. But there are good people out there, and there are people that want you to succeed. And every success story I know, Steve, every success story I know, somebody started at a low point and they climbed. So no matter where you are today, you can climb out of that and be better. No matter the circumstance, if you can breathe, you can live it. You can grow out of it. The seed, Napoleon Hill, what did he say? Any adversity is a seed of an equivalent growth. It's an equivalent rise. And let's lay slingshot. And I know you said just a moment, the further you pull the sling back, the further the trajectory. So if you've been incarcerated for a long time, you feel like you're way back here. Once you release that, you got so far you could go, because some people think you were so far back. So release and be great and go with God.
We're going to end it with that, Lefford, because there's nothing much better that I think you could say. So it's been a wonderful time that we've just shared. And again, thank you, and God bless everybody.
God bless you. Thank you, my friends.
My pleasure.
Thanks for listening to Right Thinking with Steve Copeland. I look forward to being with you again next week. And remember, don't quit, plan ahead, it will get better. God bless you and have a great week.